Resigned. CNN is bringing you live coverage from the convention. Hello again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Frederica Whitfield, live in Philadelphia. Boy, did we say it is hot out here. We've got this breaking news. Debbie Wasserman Schultz will step down as chair of the Democratic National Committee at the end of this week's convention. I want to bring in now CNN senior Washington correspondent Jeff Zeleny and CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash. You've both been reporting on this, talking to your sources. Jeff, let me go to you first about this decision and how at first it looked like she was digging in her heels. It was hard fought, but now it appears her tenure will be over.
Yes, that's what it looks like, Frederica, but not immediately. And let's look at this statement that she just issued very carefully here, particularly these lines. She says this, she said, going forward, the best way for me to accomplish those goals is to step down as party chair at the end of this convention. As the party chair, I will open and close the convention, and I will also address the delegates about the stakes involved in this election. Now, this is where it could get complicated here, Frederica. I just talked to a top Democratic source who has been in conversations with the Clinton campaign, and they says this is not okay with Brooklyn, the Clinton campaign headquarters. They firmly do not want her making a major address here in this hall. They do not want her facing the, for one, the ridicule, but also just the controversy and drama of potentially being booed and keeping this going on here. So I am told by a top Democrat that this statement may evolve as the afternoon goes on. But, Dana, to me, this is starting to sound like the Republican convention last week in Cleveland. I mean, Bernie Sanders supporters are already angry, and now this.
That's right. And actually, we were reporting during the Republican convention at the beginning about, very sort of intense, passionate debates that spilled onto the floor about their rules. And it was some of the Ted Cruz versus Donald Trump situation continuing. And as you said, if this happens, if Debbie Wasserman Schultz does address the convention, which as of this morning, part of the deal with her being stripped of her role as chair of this convention was also she wasn't going to be allowed to speak, that could be a very uncomfortable moment for the Clinton campaign, never mind Debbie Wasserman Schultz herself, because we have seen already, before this is even gavelled open, there are a lot of very, very passionate Bernie Sanders supporters still here with their signs, with their buttons, making clear to us just in the streets and in the hallways of our hotel that he got 43% of the vote. They already felt like that before the emails were leaked that, from their perspective, confirmed what they already thought, which is that they had the DNC had their hand on the scale for Hillary Clinton during the whole primary process. So it could be incredibly, incredibly ugly. But as you were reporting, this is obviously not something that Debbie Wasserman Schultz wanted, and she has been very, very reluctant in the meetings that we have been told. John King has been reporting about this as well, have been going on all day today, trying to pressure her to do what it appears she has done, but whether or not she's gone far enough by saying it won't happen until Friday, that's the question.
And she was on stage yesterday, Frederica, in Miami there. She was actually, she's a member of Congress from Florida, of course, and she was part of the warm-up act with Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine. Right. And then I happened to be on a flight with her, just coincidentally, from Miami here to Philadelphia. I was having a conversation with her. Of course, this has been a difficult period for her. She told me she was looking forward to this convention, the historic nature of this convention, and the fact that she essentially has had her speaking role stripped in this nature was something that didn't sit well with her. So now we're going to have to see how this unfolds, if she actually does speak. But if she does still, it's not going to be anywhere near when Hillary Clinton is on the stage.
That's right. And I think the key thing to remember here is, this is just, as I toss it back to you, Fred, this is a sideshow that no candidate wants when they're going to be nominated, but particularly when you're talking about the nature of what this is, which is a reminder to the Bernie Sanders supporters that Hillary Clinton is trying so hard to attract and to make sure that they go out for her and vote in the general election, that this is a sideshow that goes to the heart of what Hillary Clinton needs to do, which is unify the party.
Right, and so Jeff, you just said that, Brooklyn, Clinton's headquarters, they're not happy with this, so one has to wonder why that camp cannot leverage this decision, a speedier decision by Debbie Wasserman Schultz, when, Dana, you just said this is upstaging an event. This is upstaging, you know, what Clinton's mission is. So, Jeff, why did the Clinton campaign feel that they could not convince her otherwise, that it's stepping down now as opposed to later?
Well, Frederica, I think this is a work in progress. It's about a little after 4 o'clock in the East on Sunday. This has not disrupted anything yet. The convention hall is empty except for a few of us in here. They want to have this resolved by tomorrow, I'm told. So I think that we may still see this evolving in a different way here. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz, as Dana knows very well, having covered in Congress for years, she's been very resilient, and she's a fighter, and she wants to stay in this position. She also is running for re-election in her Florida congressional seat. I believe her primary is in August. That also is connected to this.
Her primary opponent, by the way, is somebody that Bernie Sanders told Jake Tapper a couple of months ago that he would support.
Right.
So that just shows you the animus between them. But I think another way to answer your question, Fred, is about why she's kind of not leaving, is because she has worked really, really hard. As she's been a member of Congress and she's been the chair of the Democratic National Committee, worked very, very hard to raise money, to do everything that you need to do to be the Democratic Party chair. And she feels like she's worked to this moment of the convention, and she wants to have her due to address the delegates. There's no question on my mind.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would understand that
that's what that is about.
Yeah, and it would seem a lot of people would understand that she wants to, enjoy the fruits of her labor, but this is much bigger than her and her position. And for the sake of the candidacy, one would think that perhaps there would be a quicker evolution, of that decision making.
Sure. I mean, that would have been the ideal situation. In fact, some people were hoping that she would have stepped down a while ago, and maybe now you have to wonder if she's wondering that as well. But look, I think there had been talks some months ago that the end of the convention may be the end of the road for her. Now it appears that that is kind of a good exit point. She may say, of course, she wants to, campaign for herself. But again, Frederica, I think this is still evolving here, and let's wait and see if she ever shows up on the stage, or if it's ever at an actual prime moment when people are watching.
All right, Jeff Zeleny, Dana Bash, excellent reporting. Thank you so much.